Hello, in this Adobe Photoshop tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up a workspace, open your first image and then open additional images that you might find useful or ones that you're working with in your project. Okay, the workspace is actually just the screen that you're doing the work in, and by default Photoshop gives you this. This is the Essentials workspace, which is why this one is highlighted at the top of the screen there. There are design workspaces and painting workspaces, which you can use if you're deliberately trying to do some other type of thing in Photoshop. But for the time being, Essentials is the workspace I want because it comes with all of these tools down here on the left hand side, and it comes with all of these panels on the right, or tabs if you like. Now the only one it doesn't come with, what I do think is very useful, is the History tab, because that allows you to do very complicated undo functions later on. So to make sure that's there, I'm going to click Window and then History, like that, and there's the History tab. Now that's obviously in a stupid place, so I'm going to drag that anywhere I want around here. I could leave it there if I wanted to. If I wanted to snap it into this, I can highlight it with blue there like that, and it'll snap in. I'm also going to just drag this up a little bit here, so that my layers tab is a bit bigger, because everything that Photoshop does is based on layers, so I'm going to want a big screen there. If it turns out you've accidentally deleted part of your tool panel, which does happen quite frequently, or you can't work out how to get window back, you can click the two arrows there and click Reset Essentials, and that will reset the Essentials workspace back to how it was when you first opened Photoshop, which is really helpful. But now obviously I put the History tab in there and it's deleted it because I have reset, so I'm putting that back there, and let's put this back as I had it there. So I've got a workspace now I can work in. Let's quickly put in a couple of pictures. My idea for my Photoshop is going to be having Federer and Nadal's tennis match changed, so it's actually now Nadal playing Nadal instead of Nadal playing Federer. I've already downloaded some pictures for me to do that with, so to get them into Photoshop I'm just going to click File and Open, like that. Browse to the area where it is saved, which is on the desktop, so that's handy, and there is the first picture I want. That's the background. Open. There you go. So I've got one picture into Photoshop already, and I could make some edits on there. I could start rubbing out Federer up the top here if I wanted to start that now, which is fine. How do you get additional pictures in there? If I were to click File and Open now and go to my second photo, which is obviously going to be Nadal on his own, and click Open, that has opened it in a separate tab over here. Rather than placing it on top of this file, it's put it over on a separate tab here. So these are two separate files. That's actually quite useful because I could now use this picture, cut out Nadal or highlight Nadal, or erase the background. There's a number of ways I could do it, and copy and paste from this tab to this one, which is quite easy, and so not a problem. But some people prefer to have it all in one file. So if you don't want it open in separate files, so I'm just going to click that X to get rid of that. You can click File and Place instead of File and Open, and that one will give you the same set of options. So there's my Nadal picture, Place, but this time instead of opening it in a tab, it's put it over in a new layer over there on my main photograph. So I can move that about at the moment, but I need to place it. I can't do anything until I have put this file down. So I'm just going to click this black toolbox here, and I'm going to click Place File. I can still move that about, so that's not a problem. But now I've got two separate layers in one file rather than two separate files open. And now, of course, I could cut out the background of this and then have Nadal in this photograph already. One last thing that is worth mentioning here is that at the moment, that's a layer, Nadal. But the original picture with Federer playing Nadal at the tennis court is a background, because it says background there, look, on the first layer. Now, background layers don't allow you to do as much as normal layers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert that into a normal layer. So I'm going to right click on background and say Layer from Background, and OK that box, leave all the settings, and now there we go, we've got a actual layer that I can now move around and do stuff with. I can do more edits with that picture now as well. Layer 0 is not a particularly handy name, so I'm going to double click in that and call that tennis court, like that. So now I've got two pictures in one area there, two layers, and as you'll notice here, the History tab has been paying attention to everything I've done, and I could start using that to go backwards, and certain like this, look, I can go back right back to the beginning, and I can redo everything like that if I wanted to. Have a go.